Welcome to today's earnings call of Scandinavian Astor Group. Today presenting is the company's CFO, Wictor Billström, and the presentation will be followed by a Q&A section. Here you can ask questions either via the audio line or via Q&A. I will explain how to do that in detail following the presentation. And with that, I will hand over the word to you, Wictor. Go ahead.
So welcome again to another earnings call here, and hopefully I will be able to give you some more details here to the quarter report that we sent out. So hopefully there will be some exciting stuff for you coming here. So for those of you who haven't seen me before or are new to Astor, so my name is Wictor Billström. So I am the CFO of Scandinavian Astor Group. I've been part of the Astor team. I was part of the board of directors previously, and then I joined as CFO about 2.5 years ago on a part-time basis to start off, and full-time from last year. So happy to be part of this Astor journey and what we have done so far. So in brief here, these numbers are relatively similar to the ones I presented about it's about 6-7 weeks ago in the Q2 report. We have used some of the M&A firepower there to increase our holding in Nordic Shield Group, so it has decreased a little bit, but not too much, I would say. So we still have a very large M&A coffin to take from, to support our M&A and capex or investment agenda. Net sales are the same as previously. We roughly, pro forma last year, we are close to 500 million Swedish. One new thing, of course, is now that we have closed the acquisition of Ammunity. I will come back to that, but now we are, officially in four countries with Astor subsidiaries. Market cap is, roughly the same, about 2 billion Swedish. We are more than 200 employees now, or more detailed, 220. The other ones are about the same. We're still 3 business areas and roughly the same numbers of shareholders. And obviously this is including Ammunity, but not Nordic Shield Group. So Nordic Shield Group is not included in any numbers here because it's associated company. But coming back more to that, so you can see that all the companies we own except Nordic Shield Group, we own 100% of, except Nordic Shield Group, there we own 36.5%. And we have, for those of you who don't know that, we have 3 business areas. We have Astor Tech, we have Protect, and we have Industry. And I can show you the next slide. It's easier to explain. So on the Astor Tech side, we deliver directly to the end customer. We are prime deliverer in the Scandiflash flash X-ray systems, and in Oscilion, where we make electronic warfare systems. In Astor Industry, we are a sub-supplier to ourselves in Astor Group on an increasing level, and we are also delivering to the big defense giants in Northern Europe, especially. And then we have Astor Protect, the newest business area, where it's the same formation as before, but now with Ammunity from 1st of November here. So that will be very exciting, of course. And we're also getting a contribution there for our associate investment in Nordic Shield Group. Some recent events and coming events. Of course, we have the Ammunity acquisition that we just made. Very happy about that. Coming back to talk more about Ammunity, of course. We still have we have communicated a little bit more about the batteries. We've seen the first orders coming through. Hopefully, we will see more of that in the coming months. Nordic Shield Group has had a strong development. Coming back to that as well, but they recently signed this above 250 million Swedish order. And then we have now officially applied for NGM main market, so a regulated market according to EU rules, and we are expecting to be listed there in the early parts of December this year. So some key takeaways here from the Q3 report, if you haven't already taken them yourselves or seen the Pareto analysis or NuWays. Again, it's a very good quarter. I will go through the numbers later here, but it's a very good quarter, we think, on sales and results. The net sales, their turnover is 78% increase from year over year. So it's actually a small increment increase from relatively to in the Q3 or in the Q2 we had 77% year over year, so 78% now in Q3. So that's a good number, we think. We also had a record order intake here of 144 million Swedish in Q3 alone, and that corresponds to increase year over year there of 432%. It's a very strong improvement, as I said here, on year-over-year numbers, both on EBITDA and net earnings. And as you can see in the report, we have an order backlog for Q4 deliveries standing at roughly 149 million. So that in itself suggests that there will be obviously a new record quarter for Astor. And on the negative sides, of course, we will everything will not always be a sunshine story, but on the negative side, there was only a small contribution from Nordic Shield Group in Q3, but expect that to be the other way around here in Q4. The cash flow was negative on operating level, but that is thanks to the build-up ahead of the Q4 deliveries. As I said, the expected or the backlog for Q4 is 149 million. So there's a lot of build-up going into Q4, which is our historically, as you know from last year, our strongest quarter. So we're very happy to be just in the midst of our strongest quarter here and still delivering a good summer quarter here with the Q3. But the numbers then in more detail, as you can see, roughly 79 million on net sales. Last year was 44. Year to date, we are now for 3 quarters, we are now above the numbers we had on the full year last year. So it's increasing, but things have to be built and invoiced, and so it will not be a rocket ship by itself. Things have to be worked on and invoiced, and but then the numbers are coming through, and especially here in Q4, as mentioned. EBITDA margin is of course on a very good level here, higher than expected, of course, and about 20%, and the adjusted number there is 70 million with some adjustments for rental and this relisting to the main market there at NGM. That in itself takes some costs. Let's move on there. Well, I can mention the order book as well. 368 million order book. So that's also, of course, a record number for us. So that's very good. Coming back to that. All the segments are positive on EBIT level there. We have both the industry, Tech and Protect, as mentioned before. Protect is maybe not the highest number for year to date, but obviously we will get a nice effect there from both Ammunity that will go into that business area from 1st of November. And then we also have Nordic Shield Group that will contribute to the earnings there in that business area from hopefully with bigger numbers than came in Q3 there. You can see roughly half a million Swedish. So here are some quarterly look back here on the numbers, and it's a nice, of course, increase both on as already mentioned there for sales and adjusted EBITDA. So here is I showed you this picture last time around, so I might as well do it again here. So if we take the order book end of the quarter, we are at 368 million, and if you include what deliveries order backlog that Ammunity has, that's 250 million Swedish. We are at, going into quarter four, we are at roughly 600 million Swedish. And then, as mentioned also before, this possible extension of the Ammunity contract, that in itself is 400 million. Of course, we now as new owners of Ammunity want to have a good dialogue there with the main customer and other customers, of course, as well, and see if we can push things higher than that. But this is the way it looks now. It's a total order book then. Would be if the contract is extended and nothing else. It will be, it would be a total order book of close to 1 billion Swedish. So this is roughly the same picture as you have seen before. Nordic Shield Group is an associate company to Astor. As of 7th of October, we own 36.5%. They have a lot of exciting businesses, and with reasonable margins there. So obviously now from Q4, they will contribute more on the operating profit there with 36.5% ownership than the previously 30% that we had. So they are definitely an exciting company here for the future and for themselves and as an associate company to Astor. Obviously, you know this, or for those of you who don't know, Sweden has had a lot of underinvestment the last 30 years in also not just the military but also on the civilian defense. So and they are exposed to both the civilian buildup and the military buildup that needs to happen, especially in Sweden, but also in our neighboring countries. Moving over to Ammunity, very happy to have Ammunity on board. They have a brand new management team that came in last year, and they have made some really good add-ons to that. A really good team here that can probably we hope that it will be a very good business to be in the coming years here. Of course, bullets is something you need both for warfare but also for training. You need a lot of bullets for military bullets for training as well. So we see that this will be an exciting business for Astor and for you as shareholders in Astor here in the coming years. Okay, so some outlook, and then we move over to Q&A part. So we have the listing on NGM main market here coming up in the earlier parts of December this year. Most costs are incurred. They are about 1.3 million Swedish there year to date. There will be some small add-ons here in Q4 as well on that number, but it's not very large, and it could have been a lot more, but there's been a tremendous work internally on this, and we managed to keep the fee down, so it hasn't cost us too much. But it will be exciting for Astor here to be on a regulated market, and we hopefully will have something similar to this picture here with the Astor management in the early parts here of December, as I said. But then we're very happy about Nordic growth market, of course, and this is being on a regulated market. But if we look in a longer term perspective, we have always the possibilities after we list on this NGM main market to of course list at other regulated markets at some future. But we are very, very happy to move here to NGM, where we have a very good dialogue and partnership with them. What's more to come in 2025 as I said, 36.5% of Nordic Shield Group in as of Q4, up from 30% in Q3. We will continue to see Oscilion electronic warfare sales here, or not sales, but the deliveries. Hopefully sales as well on a big level. We're of course very excited to see more on that. But what we will see is the order book that they already have, they will continue to deliver on, and that will affect the numbers because they were very small in the comparison year. So we will also see Ammunity here contributing from 1st of November 2025, and we know that they have a really good start here to the last quarter of this year. It's important to also mention this because it affected our Q3 as well. Capitalized development costs, that's something that's necessary for us to invest in the customer dialogue we have with especially the electronic warfare business. But that number as part of or on a relatively basis to the revenue, it will come down in Q4 here. It was maybe on the higher end in Q3, so that's important to mention. On the M&A side, I put it in italic there. It's only roughly 6 weeks left of this year, so we'll see if we can push some M&A also here coming out by the end of the year or early next year. M&A is a big part of what we do at Astor, so it's something we're always pushing, but the dialogues need to be wrapped up, and we need to have consensus on valuations. But with that said, and I think you got this message by now, but we expect to finish 2025 on a strong note. So with that, I move over to the Q&A session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wictor. As said in the beginning, we will now allow questions. There's 2 options as said. The first option is to go via audio line. If you want to ask a question via audio line, I would ask you to click the raise hand button. Afterwards, I will allow you to speak. The other option is to go for the Q&A function. Here you can type your question in written form, and it will be read out by myself and answered by Wictor afterwards. We will prioritize audio questions, and I see the first hand is raised by Henry Bendish. Henry, you can unmute yourself now.
Yes, thanks, Philip and Wictor. Just a few questions from me this time. The first one you already answered, so the capitalized development expense, I think, was really a bit of a margin pusher here. But other than that, on the segmental level, I've seen at the Astor Protect Q3 figures that the margin actually also saw a steep jump, which of course there was some effect from the Nordic Shield Group at equity contribution. But if even I exclude that, the margin would have still been at around 14%. Versus -7% and 2% in the -3% and -7% in the Q1 and Q2. So what's driving this margin increase? My understanding is that Airsafe is bit of scaling in a scaling phase, for example, or what's the driver behind this development here?
In Astor Protect segment, you mean, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can show you that picture here. It's yeah, well, obviously, you know, Airsafe is scaling. They had a very strong quarter in Q4 last year, and maybe not as strong if you look at the comparables, you know, from last year. But yeah, it's you know, it's developing well, and we will get a nice push there from Ammunity being included here in Q4 in the Protect segment, and also as I said, but not to say too much, but obviously we will get some contribution there, more than that number, the half million at least from Nordic Shield Group here in Q4.
Yeah, cool. Looking forward to Q4 already.
Yeah, me too.
We still need to wait a few more months.
Yeah.
Great. Then my next question is Oscilion, so electronic warfare. I think it's over the news everywhere. The NATO has realized that this is the biggest sort of missing technology that they neglected over the few years. And then we see you with Astor Eclipse being very, very interesting product. But I think we sort of haven't spoken a lot about Astor 4 in the last few months. And you said it in the report that the testing in France went really well, and it's now back to evaluation. Maybe you can share a little bit of a time horizon, what we can think of. What do you sort of expect from this product going forward? Because the test, as it says in the report, were quite successful. So I'm sort of thinking, what's the next step here in Astor 4?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. On the electronic warfare business, of course, I could have included a lot of, you know, headlines coming out from all over Europe here of disturbances at the airports related to drones without any messenger. But obviously, our, you know, the Eclipse product would be you know, a possible solution for that, you know, on a soft kill basis. But we will see where the dialogues goes. It's a very, of course, it's not. It's a little bit sad for the people of Europe, of course, but it's something necessary to build knowledge and to get these new techniques that we can offer into the system here, so we can defend against this. But then, so obviously, you know, the biggest product as we see it, you know, in the coming time here in the future is obviously this Astor Eclipse with the drone threat. But on the Astor 4, it's still it's a good product, as we said in the report there. We mentioned that it was a successful test, and now there's some technical review ahead of the next part. So hopefully we will see some you know, exciting news coming out there as well. But it's important to mention that, you know, in the beginning when I started here with Astor 4 was a very big part of our business, but it's not. We have a lot of other things at the moment. So it's an exciting product, and we hopefully we'll see good news, you know, coming through. But you know, as of now, the test was successful, and we plan ahead for the next stage there.
Okay, but there's not like time horizon you can give us. I mean, how long do these evaluation phases usually last, sort of, to give us an understanding here?
Yeah, sure. Good question. Now, we, as you have seen before, maybe on the news about Astor 4, it's heavily dependent on a lot of things, on especially on, you know, government giving airspace and, you know, giving clearance to fly and being able to jam, because it affects a lot of things going around this area. So it's in that sense a little invasive product to test, and that's why it's taken longer time than expected.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Guess I need to live with that answer. I mean, you cannot tell me more, I guess.
No.
But fine. And then last question is regarding M&A. You already gave us in the last slide a little bit of an outlook, but in italic writing that might be another deal in 2024. Is there any details you can share about location, industry, size, or any of that stuff, so we can have a rough idea of what's coming? Or would it harm your negotiating power?
On the M&A side, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. It's I think we showed pictures of that before. I didn't include it in this presentation today, but we have all of the acquisitions targets we have are in Northern Europe. It's Northern Europe, meaning the Nordic countries and the Nordic part of continental Europe. Yeah, I cannot say anything more than that. But we have a lot of exciting dialogues. And one thing to mention is, of course, that the dialogues we have are becoming increasingly more on bigger acquisition targets that can contribute more to the Astor, both top line and earnings. So we're getting more and more. Astor is getting we're ourselves becoming a bigger company, and then it's also it's something we look at adding, and not going for too small acquisitions, but something that can contribute more on both top line and earnings to give us a nice push towards the goal here in 2028.
Right. Okay. Thanks. That's it from my side.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Henry, for your questions. So right now I don't see further hands raised. So once again, a reminder, if you want to ask a question via audio line, please use the raise your hand button. And with that, let's dive into the written questions. The first one is about the working capital buildup. Victor, can you maybe elaborate for which segments the deliveries you expect are mainly coming from?
Yeah. If we usually have a lot of build up related to the industry side. That is something we have seen before, and that's without giving too much detail or elaborating too much. I can say that especially the industry side is driving that build up ahead of Q4.
Okay, thank you. The next question says you have a credit facility of around 127 million Swedish kronor until 2026 to finance further growth. Beyond that, do you anticipate to issue new shares, taking on debt, or using internal cash flows to finance further M&A?
Yeah, good question. Cash flow, positive cash flow and a free cash flow is always very good to finance your acquisitions. If we go for bigger targets, as mentioned here, of course we can look into more. We have a net cash position of about 140 million today, and on top of that we have this, as mentioned, this acquisition loan that we can draw on, and we have used 27.5 on that for Carbonia, but we still have 100 to draw upon there. So we have a very good position here to be able to execute on our M&A agenda, I would say. But going forward, I think I mentioned that before as well, that we have a lot of interest from the financial market on giving out a corporate bond. So that is also, of course, something that can finance a bigger acquisition here in the future. So that is something we're definitely looking at. It was not possible to do that a couple of years ago, or maybe only a year ago. But as the sentiment has shifted, there's not only interest in the equity market for getting exposure to defense, but also in the debt market. So that is something we definitely look into.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that answers the question. Another question says that over the past month, it appeared that you slowed communication a bit. Do you intend to give the capital markets more updates on the status of your processes and also customer interest going forward?
Yes, sure. Yeah, we understand that it was maybe not the same level of communication here, but we need to understand that this relisting at the NGM main market has taken a lot of our time, and we have had a lot of dialogues on the M&A side, but as of now, I cannot expand too much about that. But of course, M&A is, as I said before, a big part of what we do at Astor. So we expect M&A news flow coming out in the future here.
All right, perfect. Next question is regarding an interview Matthias did, where he mentioned that he believes that the market most likely is underestimating Astor within the segments EW and Composite. Is it possible to elaborate further on that without saying too much?
Yeah, sure. On the electronic warfare side, I think the shareholders, listening in or understand that has been with us a little bit longer here, maybe the full journey here, 3 years, that they know that we've been in the electronic warfare business for 30 years. So obviously, I don't know if that's fully understood by the market, but it's that's I think that was the meaning of the CEO's what he said there, that we have a lot of knowledge that we will hopefully transform into to bigger orders here in the future. And then on the composite side, I think they are already delivering, but of course they could do more, or especially to the defense giants. We could do more of their production at our production sites, so they could outsource more to us. But that it's always a customer dialogue, and so I will not get ahead of that. But yeah, so that was the meaning, I think, of the CEO's words there.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Next question is on mergers and structural changes. Example given is Scandinavian Astor Technologies AB, which has been merged now. What cost savings or efficiencies do you expect, and when do you expect to see them?
Yes, I wouldn't expect, it's not too much cost savings, but it's always good to do that kind of, make the group more efficient and close down or merge companies that don't have any, it's not any necessary existing of this Astor technology. So we might as well, merge it to Astor Group. And if you look 2 years back, we closed down or liquidated one subsidiary that didn't have any sales or was expecting to have any sales. So it's important to always make the group more efficient, and that's also something we look when we we buy companies if we can buy them as that we only buy the asset purchase, so we don't buy any more limited companies that we need to submit everything every month on taxes and so on. So it makes the administration easier, and of course there will be cost savings, but it's not really measurable at this stage.
All right, I understand. Thank you, Wictor. Next question is, if you could make your dream acquisition tomorrow, can you explain what would it look like, and which type of company or technology would you target, and maybe also explain why?
Yeah, it's a good question. Given where we are on the acquisition pipeline that we're working on, I think it's not good for me to elaborate too much about that, because I don't want any negative effects on and U.S. shareholders don't want that either. So I think I shouldn't elaborate too much about that. But obviously it's very, if I just mention a few things, it's very important for us that they contribute on a top line basis, and they contribute on the earnings, so we can build together with the current Astor subsidiaries, that we can get ourselves closer as quickly as possible to the financial target there in 2028.
All right, thank you. Next up, can you elaborate on the collaboration with Altris, and how is it going right now?
Yeah, sure. It's a exciting product or the collaboration that we have together with them, and it's especially really good, niche batteries for the defense market. So hopefully, as I mentioned, we will see more news about that collaboration coming out. But one thing is definitely for sure, and that is that the old battery or the battery industry as we know it, with these rare earth minerals, is something that's gonna affect us in the future here, and that we don't have a lot of these rare earths in Europe. So this technology could really be something for a Europe battery base here in the future. So definitely interesting, especially in the defense space.
All right, and the next question is regarding the collaboration with Scandiflash. How do you see that going in the future?
Oh yeah, on the newest collaboration there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's too early to say now. It's quite a new collaboration, but it's definitely it's a very exciting one. But we have to it's too fresh to speak about it at this meeting today. But hopefully coming back to that on the Q4 earnings call.
All right. So looking forward to this then, definitely.
Yeah.
And currently, last question we have here, Wictor. The question is, when are you going to increase your holding in Astor further, or do you intend to increase it further?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. If you don't know it, there's obviously, if I buy in the open market, I will not tell you beforehand. But what I can say is, there's some warrant purchases coming up here for the old warrants that were issued before Astor was listed, and I have 50,000 warrants there, and of course I intend to buy those.
Very good. Thank you very much. So far, we do not have any further questions in the queue, and I don't see any further hands raised. So once again, a reminder, if you want to ask a question via audio line, please use the raise your hand button or ask a question in the Q&A section. But I do not see any further raised hands or questions right now. So with that, I would thank you, all participants, for being part of this call today. And for some final remarks, I would hand over the word to you, Wictor.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks for listening in, and hope to speak again soon. And looking forward here to a strong last quarter of the year.
Very good. Bye bye.
Bye bye.